After 40, your body starts whispering to you. The stiff knees in the morning, the stubborn belly fat that won't go away, the brain fog that makes you forget simple things. What if I told you these aren't just normal aging, but signs of silent inflammation slowly damaging your body? Here's the truth. Once you cross 40, your body changes in ways most people aren't prepared for. Hormones begin to shift. Muscle mass naturally declines. Recovery slows down. Blood sugar becomes harder to control. And underneath all of that, a quiet process begins to accelerate: chronic low-grade inflammation. Now, inflammation isn't always bad. If you cut your finger or get sick, inflammation is your body's emergency response system. It helps you heal. But chronic inflammation is different. It's like a small fire burning inside you every single day. You don't see it, you don't feel it immediately, but over time, it contributes to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, joint pain, weight gain, memory decline, and even Alzheimer's. The good news? One of the most powerful anti-inflammatory tools isn't in a pharmacy, it's in your kitchen. Let's start with one of the most powerful foods you can eat after 40: fatty fish. Salmon, sardines, mackerel. These aren't just healthy options on a menu. They are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. These healthy fats directly reduce inflammatory markers in the body, including something called C-reactive protein, which doctors use to measure inflammation linked to heart disease. After 40, your risk of cardiovascular problems increases naturally. Arteries become less flexible, cholesterol patterns change, blood pressure creeps up. Omega-3s help counteract this by lowering triglycerides, improving blood vessel function, and calming inflammatory signals. They also protect your brain. DHA is a major structural fat in your brain cells. When inflammation rises, cognitive decline speeds up. Eating fatty fish 2 to 3 times a week has been consistently linked with better memory and lower risk of neurodegenerative diseases. If you don't eat fish regularly, your body simply doesn't get enough of these protective fats. And that small deficiency, year after year, adds up. Next, let's talk about something small but incredibly powerful: berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. They may look simple, but they're packed with compounds called anthocyanins. These are antioxidants that fight oxidative stress, and oxidative stress is one of the main drivers of inflammation and aging. After 40, your body's natural antioxidant defenses become less efficient. Think of it like rust slowly forming on metal. Berries help slow that rusting process inside your cells. They also help stabilize blood sugar. This is critical. Every time your blood sugar spikes sharply, your body releases inflammatory chemicals. Over time, repeated spikes create insulin resistance, a major contributor to belly fat and metabolic disease. Adding just 1 cup of berries a day can significantly lower inflammatory markers and improve insulin sensitivity. It's one of the simplest daily habits you can build. Now let's move to something most people overlook: leafy greens. Spinach, kale, arugula, Swiss chard. These aren't just salad fillers. They are loaded with vitamin K, magnesium, fiber, and polyphenols, all of which help reduce inflammation. Magnesium is especially important after 40. Studies show a large percentage of adults are deficient. Low magnesium levels are linked to higher inflammation, higher blood pressure, poor sleep, and insulin resistance. Magnesium helps relax blood vessels, regulate blood sugar, and calm the nervous system, and leafy greens are one of the best natural sources. Fiber is another hidden hero here. When you eat fiber, it feeds the good bacteria in your gut, and your gut microbiome plays a massive role in controlling inflammation. If your gut bacteria are unhealthy, inflammation rises throughout your entire body. This brings us to something many people misunderstand: fat. For years, we were told fat causes disease, but not all fats are equal. Extra virgin olive oil is one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory fats you can consume. High-quality olive oil contains a compound called oleocanthal. Interestingly, oleocanthal has been shown to work in a similar way to certain anti-inflammatory medications by blocking inflammatory pathways in the body. Regular consumption of extra virgin olive oil has been linked to lower rates of heart disease, better cholesterol profiles, and reduced joint pain. But quality matters. It should be cold-pressed, ideally in a dark glass bottle, and have a slightly peppery taste. That peppery sensation is often a sign of higher polyphenol content. Just 1 to 2 tablespoons per day, drizzled over salads or vegetables, can make a measurable difference over time. Now let's talk about avocados. After 40, many people notice weight gain around the midsection. This isn't just about calories. Hormonal shifts and reduced insulin sensitivity play a major role. Avocados are rich in monounsaturated fats, fiber, potassium, and antioxidants. The healthy fats in avocados help improve insulin sensitivity, which means your body handles carbohydrates more efficiently. Less blood sugar spike, less inflammation. The fiber supports your gut health, and as we mentioned earlier, a healthier gut means lower systemic inflammation. Potassium helps regulate blood pressure, which often becomes more difficult to control after 40. And despite being calorie-dense, studies show that people who eat avocados regularly often have healthier weight numbers. That's because they increase satiety and reduce overeating later in the day. Up to this point, we've talked about fatty fish, berries, leafy greens, extra virgin olive oil, and avocados. These foods alone can significantly reduce inflammatory stress in your body. But we're only halfway through. There are specific spices, nuts, beverages, and plant compounds that may be even more powerful than what we've covered so far, some of which have been shown in research to reduce inflammatory markers as effectively as certain medications. And most people are not eating them regularly. We'll continue building on this foundation and uncover the next powerful anti-inflammatory foods that your body desperately needs after 40. Now let's go deeper, because the next foods we're about to talk about are small in size, but incredibly powerful when it comes to calming inflammation after 40. Let's start with something that's probably already sitting in your kitchen cabinet: turmeric. Turmeric contains a compound called curcumin. Curcumin has been studied extensively for its anti-inflammatory properties. In fact, research shows it can block certain molecules in the body that trigger inflammation at the cellular level. After 40, joint stiffness becomes more common. Recovery from workouts takes longer. Old injuries start to talk again. Curcumin has been shown to reduce joint pain and improve mobility, especially in people dealing with age-related inflammation. But here's the key. Turmeric alone isn't absorbed very well. When you combine it with black pepper, specifically a compound in black pepper called piperine, absorption increases dramatically. Even adding turmeric to soups, eggs, or smoothies with a pinch of black pepper can make a difference over time. Next, let's talk about something simple, affordable, and incredibly underrated: green tea. Green tea is rich in catechins, especially when called EGCG. These compounds are powerful antioxidants that reduce oxidative stress and inflammatory signaling in the body. After 40, brain health becomes a bigger priority. Many people notice subtle memory changes or mental fatigue. The antioxidants in green tea help protect brain cells from inflammatory damage. Studies also suggest green tea supports heart health and metabolic function. Even drinking 2 to 3 cups per day has been linked to lower inflammatory markers and improved insulin sensitivity. It's not magic, it's consistency. Small habits, repeated daily, compound over time. Now let's move to nuts, specifically walnuts. Walnuts are one of the few nuts that contain a significant amount of plant-based omega-3 fatty acids. They also contain polyphenols and antioxidants that help reduce inflammation and improve blood vessel function. After 40, blood vessels naturally lose some elasticity. This increases cardiovascular risk. Walnuts have been shown to improve endothelial function, which means they help your blood vessels relax and respond better. A small handful per day is enough, not a whole bag, just a handful. Remember, we're aiming for daily anti-inflammatory input, not calorie overload. Next is something many people avoid because of outdated fears: dark chocolate. But not all chocolate is created equal. We're talking about dark chocolate that contains at least 70% cocoa. Cocoa is rich in flavonoids, which are powerful antioxidants. Flavonoids improve blood flow, reduce inflammatory markers, and even support brain health. Some studies show they can enhance cognitive performance and mood by improving circulation to the brain. The key is moderation and quality. A small square or two per day is enough. Milk chocolate loaded with sugar won't give you the same benefits. In fact, excess sugar fuels inflammation. Speaking of sugar, let's shift to something fermented: yogurt or kefir. Remember earlier when we talked about gut health? Your gut microbiome controls a large portion of your immune system. When your gut bacteria are imbalanced, inflammation increases throughout your body. Fermented foods like plain yogurt with live cultures or kefir introduce beneficial bacteria into your digestive system. These probiotics help strengthen your gut lining, reduce inflammatory responses, and improve nutrient absorption. After 40, digestive efficiency often declines. Supporting your gut isn't just about digestion, it's about full-body inflammation control. If dairy doesn't work for you, other fermented options like sauerkraut or kimchi can offer similar benefits. Now let's talk about tomatoes. Tomatoes are rich in lycopene, a powerful antioxidant linked to reduced inflammation and lower risk of heart disease. Interestingly, lycopene becomes more bioavailable when tomatoes are cooked. So tomato sauce, stewed tomatoes, and soups can actually deliver more absorbable lycopene than raw tomatoes. Lycopene has also been studied for its protective effects against prostate issues in men and skin aging caused by oxidative stress. Again, small, consistent amounts over time make the difference. Finally, for this part, let's talk about one more simple but powerful addition: garlic. Garlic contains sulfur compounds that have anti-inflammatory and immune-supporting properties. It has been shown to reduce inflammatory markers and improve cardiovascular health by helping regulate blood pressure and cholesterol. Crushing or chopping garlic and letting it sit for a few minutes before cooking activates its beneficial compounds. It's a small detail that can significantly increase its effectiveness. Now, pause for a moment and think about what we've covered so far: fatty fish, berries, leafy greens, extra virgin olive oil, avocados, turmeric, green tea, walnuts, dark chocolate, fermented foods, tomatoes, garlic. You might notice something important. None of these are exotic superfoods, none require extreme diets, none demand perfection. They are simple, accessible, everyday foods that, when eaten consistently, shift your body from a state of silent inflammation to a state of repair. But here's what most people miss. It's not about eating one of these occasionally. It's about creating an anti-inflammatory pattern, a lifestyle where most of your daily choices calm the fire instead of fueling it. In the final part, we'll connect everything together: how to structure your day, what a simple anti-inflammatory meal plan could look like after 40, and the common mistakes that silently increase inflammation even if you're eating healthy. Now let's bring everything together in a way that actually fits your real life. Because knowing the foods is one thing, but building them into a simple daily rhythm is what truly changes your body after 40. Imagine starting your morning with plain yogurt or kefir, topped with a handful of berries and walnuts. You're feeding your gut, stabilizing your blood sugar, and giving your body antioxidants before the day even begins. For lunch, a large salad built around leafy greens, tomatoes, avocado, and grilled salmon, drizzled with extra virgin olive oil. You've now added fiber, omega-3s, magnesium, potassium, and polyphenols, all working quietly to reduce inflammatory stress. In the afternoon, instead of a sugary snack that spikes insulin and fuels inflammation, you sip green tea and enjoy a small piece of dark chocolate. At dinner, maybe roasted vegetables with garlic and turmeric, black pepper sprinkled in, alongside another serving of fatty fish or even legumes cooked with olive oil. Nothing extreme, nothing complicated, just repeated anti-inflammatory signals sent to your body meal after meal. And here's what starts to happen when you live this way consistently. Your blood sugar becomes more stable. That stubborn belly fat becomes easier to manage. Joint stiffness begins to ease. Energy becomes more steady instead of crashing in the afternoon. Brain fog starts to lift. Sleep improves. Because inflammation affects everything. But let's also be honest about something important. You can't out-eat chronic inflammation if other habits are working against you. Lack of sleep raises inflammatory markers. Chronic stress increases cortisol, which disrupts blood sugar and promotes abdominal fat storage. Excess alcohol irritates the gut lining and fuels systemic inflammation. Highly processed foods loaded with refined oils and added sugars act like gasoline on the fire. After 40, your margin for error becomes smaller. The body is less forgiving than it was at 25. But that's not bad news. It just means your habits matter more. And the beautiful part is, the body is incredibly responsive. Studies consistently show that inflammatory markers can drop within weeks of dietary improvements. Insulin sensitivity can improve, blood pressure can come down, cholesterol patterns can shift. You are not too old. You are not stuck with your genetics. You are not doomed to feel worse every year. Aging is inevitable. Chronic inflammation is not. Think of it this way. Every meal is either whispering healing or whispering harm. You don't need perfection. You don't need to eliminate everything you enjoy. But if most of your meals include the foods we discussed, fatty fish, berries, leafy greens, olive oil, avocados, turmeric, green tea, walnuts, dark chocolate, fermented foods, tomatoes, garlic, you are actively lowering the inflammatory load on your body. And that changes how you age. Your 40s, 50s, and 60s don't have to be decades of decline. They can be decades of strength, clarity, mobility, and metabolic control if you reduce the silent fire burning underneath. Start small. Add one anti-inflammatory food daily this week, then another next week. Let momentum build. Because the goal isn't just to live longer, it's to live stronger, sharper, and more energized in the years ahead.